This is what we do at almost midnight at PS Sound, yeah?
Yeah.
Tony's playing with his new toy. That's probably one of those moments when I don't even have to talk. I don't even have to introduce ourselves. We don't even have to do any of the marketing bollocks, shall we say. Telling people how amazing it is, how mind-blowing, and they won't believe what we've put into this car. We don't have to say those things.
And going the extra hours, because if you actually look at the time, people will then realise what you do. 11:45 at night.
Okay, fair enough. We have two cars today here, you know. We have yours and Stefan's that we will have a separate short video of. And custom car audio is one of those things that it's heavily bespoke. You have to be able to do so many things. You have to be a master of 10 plus different things and some. So many of you have seen videos of this Ford ST500 that we've been playing with for a while. This is now what, the fourth chapter?
Yeah.
The fourth chapter, and Tony has been going to meetings, to competitions for like, I don't know, half a year at least this season without a finished boot. And yeah, it's difficult when you want to be proud of your baby and it doesn't look pretty, then you really need passion to carry on and go in, because some people don't even want to take it out and show it to anyone. Can you slow this fade down, please? I hate when it jumps colors.
Yeah.
Just press the S minus many times, it should slow down. Yeah. So we knew that this would be a big chapter, a difficult one, because some of you remember, I may have to drop a picture in here when I have time to edit this video, that we just had a sub box unfinished, just spray painted with a sub hanging in it. We had an Adair temporarily, and that's a great sub, but unfortunately we had some sort of issues with it. It created mechanical noises. We got it second hand, and we knew that we wouldn't be able to keep that sub in the car, even if so many people love it. And I'm sure it's a stunning sub when it works perfectly. Ours, unfortunately, it wasn't. And we also wanted to create something that's more than just for pure sound quality. We wanted to create something that also looks great. And then Tony had a small little wish that it would be great if we could have everything Steg in the car, because many people don't know the brand, and maybe some people only know the brand from us following the channel, but Steg has been around for 30-40 years, an Italian brand, and they certainly have great products, especially for the money. They have great value. They have super high-end gear as well, of course, like many manufacturers these days. They like to have Halo products, very expensive stuff, but in this car we try to keep everything relatively modest when it comes to price tags, because those Steg amplifiers that we have in there, people think that they are super expensive, but they are actually not. Those Fortunal amplifiers are $450 each. Those monoblocks are $500 each. So those 5 amplifiers are still, they are around the same price tag as SbAcoustic AP6 channel right now on the market. And we have 14 channels. This way we can run a 3-way front end with rear fill, a front sub and rear sub. We have a Helix DSP Pro Mark 1, still doing an okay job, but yes, in the future we would like to swap it out to probably to the Mark 3. yeah, we had crazy amount of wiring in this car. Wire everything up and make sure that the heat sinks are all equal length. If you see, yeah, I think it took me 3 days just to wire up the amp rack, not to pull the wires in and all that, because that was part of chapter 1 when Eddie was soundproofing the car, wasn't it? When we laid the power cable, signal cable, control cable and everything into the car, and then just that over there was 3 days, which was fun. And then we made the system functional and it was running for a good while even without rear fuel, and it was doing okay, but we still know we need still at least one more chapter, at least. It depends on how long you leave the car here for. But currently, so we ended up with this Steg subwoofer, the ST12D2 or whatever it's called, I'm not even sure. If you go on their website, you will only see one SPL subwoofer line, because in theory, this is an SPL sub with dual spiders. There's one here and there's another one there, and the sub is super stiff, especially in a sealed enclosure. But it's doing a great job for what we needed. I didn't expect it to be so musical and tight and fast, but it is. Finally, it is. And yes, most people would use it in an SBR car with big ported enclosures, and yes, probably this wouldn't be my first call either, but we wanted to stick to Steg, and we also ended up with a stunning looking showpiece. That sub is a little beast.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Because we use a lot of Focal these days, the Focal K2 Power E30KX, and that sounds great. We have that in Stefan's, we will show that in the other video. Sounds great, but like in a build like this, you can't have a grey basket with a yellow comb. That's the part when people are like, oh, it's good for you, you can worry about things like that. But at the same time, if you want to build something beautiful, then even little details like that matter.
Yeah.
Then Tony Hayes JR, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's mainstream, everyone's got it. Every shop wants to sell it.
We fit a fair amount of JR. But yeah, I understand your point.
Yeah.
You go to many car shows, meetings, you don't want to end up having the exact same thing like others.
I like to be different.
Although that has its beauty as well. When you show to people that you have the same gear, but how much better it sounds in yours. That's that. Like we built a Nissan Cube, with a prefab box. I don't think many people will believe how that system is performing. They'd be like, hang on, I had that box, it wasn't playing like that.
Yeah.
So we ended up with this sub, and we spent close to 100 hours with this boot build. First week we just made panels, just woodwork, fiber filling, fiberglassing, shaping, all that madness. Then another week we had 3 days when we thought we would be able to finish it, but then the sub came last minute, plexi came last minute, and then when you put the lights in, then you don't know what it's going to look like, how things will work out, how things will light up. And it wasn't as bright at daytime, it wasn't popping, and the lights were not that even either. So we thought, okay, even if I didn't want to do actually plexi, because that's very, very painful to deal with, we had to find a couple more days when we could put plexi in everywhere and fight with millimeters. But yeah, it's certainly a stunning thing.
Yeah.
So we have just black plexi on the side, that in the future, if you want to, well, if Tony wants to, I don't want to, but he was requesting if we could put the wiring diagrams in there. To me, it just, like, even from this angle, it looks so clean, so classic. You see the reflections, it extends the width of the boot build. We can try, but I think it would kind of break up the simplicity of it. It would make it look a bit busy with diagrams.
I've always said it's yours, so
yeah, we could have a plexi stand right on the side.
yeah.
Nobody does that these days. Only at Eurofinals we have a couple of competitors who have, they put a big plexi stand right next to the car. We could have a power connector going out somewhere underneath the car where you can plug in. So you would get the power. You would get the power feed. You could even have the same color combination going out to the plexi, lighting up the same color.
Yeah.
Opa, there you go. I'm giving crazy ideas that I know I will struggle with to deliver, but yeah, that could be done. That would make more sense. That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future we have something like that. I may just run to the front, and oh yeah, also you won't see, but we have nice little pods, printed pods from ABS full fill with hybrid air 2 SEs that Tony had in his previous car. So that's what we use for rear field duty. Yes, that's not Steg now. Oh. But yeah, the front, nothing has changed. We still have the Steg tweeters and mids, the MS30 with a two-way set. So we kind of made a three-way set with the additional MS30. I'm not even sure about the model of this speaker set because they have so many, but I think the two-way is around £600-700 with a rather special tweeter that you don't see these days. It looks like the old Fokker Utopia, the first generation Utopia with an inverted dome. It's quite small format, and we made it even smaller, stripping the housing down, and then this way we could fit it in the pillar, make it even smaller so it's not blocking the view at all. And yes, the mid-range is very off-axis, and then people were asking us about that because we were focusing more on not losing point in competition because of the 40mm rule we have in EMA. So from the black dots on the edge of the windscreen, they measure 40mm up, and then from driving position, you know, it cannot come any further out than that. And in this car it was a bit tricky. We might come up with a different solution in the future to get better results out of the car. I mean, you know, for most people this is already mind-blowing. It sounds so great, but when it comes to technicalities, competition and all that madness, there's a different level that we were also hoping to do. We were hoping to do mids on the dash, but this dash wasn't our friend when we started to pull it. When did we start it, Tony? Last summer.
Yeah. Do you want to put that on? Just show me.
Oh yeah, you can actually. Tony 3D printed, there you go. People can see me now holding the phone. He 3D printed a bracket for his iPad that slots over the floating head unit, and this way you can have an iPad there too, with your car in the background.
Yeah.
So we have the freeway, we have a front sub down there in the footwell, we have a panel, protective panel to protect the SbAcoustic 10-inch driver in sealed enclosure we built, but I think you've seen that in previous video. So that's where the system is right now. Yeah, sometimes I say nothing crazy. Well, to most people this is already crazy, but we have future plans to sort out the mid-bass install because yes, we wanted to do kicks, we couldn't. This car was not friendly, giving us the opportunity to do kicks. It's not impossible, but then we were weighing up the value of investment of you know, the labor that would need to be put into this project to do kicks. And yeah, within that time we installed the whole freeway front end, and then he could have a system that was up and running, and he could enjoy it in the last 1 year instead of doing really complex, super time consuming installation that wasn't really planned at the beginning. Even now, to be fair, it's growing. This car is growing into a bit of a monster. Because who knew at the beginning what would go into it? Now we can see that, especially with this finish in the boot, it deserves everything to build to, you know, I don't want to say perfection because the car environment is never perfect, but we know that that mid-bass in the door is not going to stay there like that forever, because many people know I hate doors. Part of me never want to build cars with mid-bass in the doors because I know it's predictable that it's going to be poor, not up to our standards. And even if we sounded and soundproofed everything in this door, the outer skin, inner skin, the door card, we have absorber on the door card, still this door is just not great, and we have still a lot of rattles, buzzes, a lot of energy. When you sit in the car, you just feel diffused energy on the side of your body. It's not like you only hear bass coming out of the speaker, you have energy coming out of the whole door, even with that amount of treatment. As opposed to the Mazda that you heard today, right? And it's a game changer when you have clean mid-bass in a car. So yeah, this is now on a different level. Hopefully many people will have a chance to see it, hear it, what the system is about, what it's capable of doing. Yeah, that's the trouble. You can't see that nice shape from that point where you stand usually behind the boot. This is our first boot build where most of the panels, most of the shapes were done on a CNC, because now Eddie is in full action with the CNC, doing crazy things. Okay, those were actually made by hand using different templates we had. But yeah, these oval shapes would never happen by hand, or no, not never, because I know a few people who would be capable of doing it, but yeah, that would be difficult. So this is it for this update, guys. Feel free to share the video. Share it with everyone you know who need inspiration, who need a bit of kick to get on with their projects. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Check out description for links for the playlist of this project. Then you can see the other videos, although I will add a link to the end as well. You can click on it, you can check previous videos. You can also check Patreon, our Patreon channel, where we have a lot of daily updates, where we see behind the scene content, steps, how these projects come together, little tricks and tips. We also have weekly topics, very valuable weekly topics that you can learn from. So it's worth to check it out, guys. And of course, check out our social sites if you don't know them or if you don't follow them. Facebook, Insta, YouTube, you find us as PS Sound, that easy. And maybe I should also mention, people always ask me what music we play, where we have our demo list. If you're a Tidal member, or check out Tidal, streaming service similar to Spotify, but Tidal is not MP3, then if you search for PS Sound, now on the search section on the top you can see tracks, profiles, whatnot. Well, you don't see profile, you have to slide all the way to the right. Then you can see profile. If you click on that, you will find PS Sound profile, and then you will have dozens of playlists that you can play straight away. We have different genres, different demo lists, so it's worth checking it out. All right, I'm gonna cut this video here. Hopefully you liked it, guys, and then we will bring another nice little video very soon. Till then, have fun, play as much music on the roads as possible, and then we will see you in the next one. Take care.